Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the star line by a professor and author of My Father's Gun, Indian Summer, Last Call at Elaine's, and many more, including 4 ghost-written New York Times best-selling books. His latest is a story of 4 generations of firefighters in 5 floors up. We welcome author Brian McDonald.
Thanks, Sean. Nice to be here.
Brian, let's go beyond the mic. Why was this story of the Feehan family one that drew you in and inspired you to write 5 floors up?
Well, truth be told, the story dropped into my lap, but that doesn't diminish the fact of how amazing of an experience it was, Sean. This family was, I like to say, they were ordinary heroes, and they also have the hero gene passed on from one generation to the next. And the more I got into it, I mean, I come from a civil service family. I come from a cop family, so it was a natural fit. Although, I don't like to talk about my cop heritage to the firefighters I talk to. There's a bit of a disagreement in that relationship. So
I'm shocked. As a son of a cop who worked in Fort Apache, the 41st District in New York, was it difficult to give credit to firefighters?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, the thing about firefighters and cops, and this isn't New York, this is across the country, anywhere you go, they're the best storytellers in the world. And I always say, especially after you give them a couple of beers, they can tell the best stories. And it makes my job really easy. I just record what they say and transcribe it pretty much and try to hook them together.
This book was released the week of the anniversary of 9/11, and part of the book shares a story from that day. How hard, as a New Yorker, was it for you to write it?
Yeah, it's emotional. It's one of the family members I talked to was the son of the main character, for lack of a better word, of the book, Chief Bill Feehan. And Bill Feehan was the deputy commissioner at the time of 9/11, first deputy commissioner. He was the highest ranking and oldest firefighter killed that day. And I like to say, I write in a book that his face felt the heat of 1,000 fires, and that's not much of an exaggeration if it is one. He was in a lot of very busy firehouses, and here he was at 71, still at it with his boots on, trying to direct a rescue operation when the North Tower came down and killed him. And Billy, when you talk to Billy about it, I mean, it happened yesterday. That wound does not go away. And because of that, it makes my job, in one way it makes the writing poignant, but it also makes the job of interviewing kind of difficult, and it brings up my own feelings too, so.
Author of 5 Floors Up, Brian McDonald joins us beyond the mic, and it's time for the Rocking 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. Brian, there is no pressure. Where's your favorite place on the Fordham campus?
Listen, I went to Fordham in Lincoln Center, so it's Lincoln Center. It's right behind it, nice. the Performing Arts.
What's your mood right now, using only one word?
Anxious.
What was your last leap of faith?
The last leap of faith, I ate a Chinese meal I've never seen before, so. It had things that I think were crawling. I'm not sure. They were probably dead.
How many countries have you visited in your life?
I'd say not that many. I'd say 10.
How about the last New York Mets game you went to? Who did they play, and did they win?
Yeah, they beat the Dodgers just about a week ago. A little more than a week ago. Yep.
Yes or no? The U.S. political system is broken.
No comment.
Fair. Have you ever spent St. Patrick's Day in Dublin?
I haven't, but I made my own St. Patrick's Day in Dublin one time. I'll tell you that.
So what's the best Irish meal your mom's ever made?
Oh, it's corned beef. She on St. Patrick's Day, she makes corned beef, which actually is not it's a traditional Irish dish in America, but not in Ireland. They eat something called pig's head and cabbage.
It's time for one big question with author of 5 Floors Up, Brian McDonald. Brian, how is researching, talking to, and writing the Feehan story changed you?
Well, I think it gave me a greater appreciation. I wrote most of the book during the pandemic here in New York, and the first months of the pandemic, the first pandemic, 3 or 4 pandemics ago, the first one, and it really was. I mean, there were sirens, and I was talking to Connor, who was the youngest generation as a firefighter in Brooklyn, and he was out on all of these medical runs all the time. I mean, people were having heart attacks, and they couldn't pick them up with EMS trucks because they were filled with COVID patients. So they'd send fire department trucks to pick these people up and administer first aid, And I just said to myself, oh my God. And, they go home and they coach Little League and they coach soccer and they cook dinner and they do all of the things everybody does with a growing family, struggling family. Only they do these remarkable feats of quiet heroism. And that changed me.
What do you want readers to get out of this book?
Yeah, I want them to see what it's like to be inside of a firefighter family. I mean, I do cover, it's 100 years of New York City Fire Department history, and I cover all the major fires, including the most dramatic event, 9/11, pretty extensively. But I want them to see what it's like inside the feelings of the firefighter families. That'd be my goal.
The story dropped right into his lap. His mom's corned beef is the best,
God.
And he loves the New York Mets win. His book is 5 Floors Up. We thank author Brian McDonald for taking the time to talk with us today.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And that, my friends, is a Beyond the Mic shortcut.